Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to modify Timber to get more articulation in his neck and get him looking more natural in some typical doggo poses. This mod is slightly more complex and you should be able to pull it off with a hairdryer, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a Dremel. Shout out to my buddy Terry who lent me this original unmodified Timber because I had already modified my own copy before even thinking of making this video. I've also started a TikTok account at XCORPEO, the same as my YouTube channel name, and you can find a link to that in the description below. I've already reviewed the Commandos Snake Eyes and Timber 2-pack. The link to that video should pop up right about now, and Timber is damn near close to a perfect 6-inch scale articulated doggo, except that his neck articulation is pretty limited. The articulation is fine for his head looking up, but this is as far down as he can look. And that limited range downwards actually makes him look kind of awkwardly looking up when he's in a seated position. Now getting into the mod, first you need to pop his head off. And looking at this ball joint, you will notice its range is not fully realized. This post is not moving all the way to touch the edge of this sculpted socket. And that's essentially hindered because of the sculpt within the socket. So for the first part of this modification, you will need to heat this part up with a hairdryer. And once you got the plastic soft enough, you can use a pair of needle nose pliers to get enough grip on this dumbbell joint in order to pull it out of that socket. Now taking a closer look at the before and the after, you will need to use a Dremel to enlarge that ball socket by about 2 millimeters in diameter, as well as Dremel off all this excess plastic piece around the collar. So as you can see over here, you should get a smooth finish on that collar instead of this sort of stepped design where there's kind of like a step between this outer part of the collar compared to the inner part of the collar just above the ball socket. And once again, using the hairdryer's heat to soften up this plastic collar and popping that dumbbell joint in, now you can see how that peg is maximizing the full range of the sculpted ball socket in all directions. So this peg is always touching the collar in all directions, therefore maximizing your range of articulation. And you can compare it once again with how this peg does not touch the edge of the collar on this original piece. Next up, you will have to heat this collar in order to pop it off the rest of the body. So now you can pop this plastic collar off, revealing a second dumbbell joint. The full downward range of the joint isn't maximized because this dumbbell joint doesn't actually touch the end of that sculpted socket. There is a round channel over here, and you will have to align this dumbbell joint to that channel in order to slide the ball from the inside of that joint outwards. And once again, before you do that, make sure to heat up this part of the body. It's made of a soft plastic, so with some heat you should be able to slide this dumbbell joint outwards. And once again, you will need a set of needle nose pliers to get enough grip on the dumbbell joint in order to pull it out. Taking a closer look at the dumbbell joint, always remember that the arrow would be on the right side of Timber's body and is pointing inward toward the ball socket on the body, and that would be the instructions on how to reassemble this thing. Just remember that the other side of this dumbbell joint does not have an arrow, and that would be on the left side of Timber's body. Taking a closer look at that ball joint on the body, once again you can see a step sculpted just outside of that ball joint, and that step is what's causing that dumbbell from realizing its full range of this sculpted socket. So what you want to do is Dremel downwards on that ball joint, enlarging it by about 2 millimeters downwards, as well as level out that step in this channel on the bottom of the socket so that once again it becomes flat, and that way you will be able to maximize the full range of this sculpted socket. So this is what my modified piece looks like, and you can see the plastic that's removed on the channel at the bottom of this socket. I've also taken the liberty to enlarge the socket by about 2 millimeters downwards over here, but this is the maximum that you can go without exposing the joint when you get Timber to look up. So this should also increase the range of the joint downwards as well. And likewise, when you enlarge the socket downwards, just make sure that the enlargement is followed through all the way into that ball joint. But once again, Dremeling and removing the plastic on the bottom of this channel all the way into that ball joint. And once again, heating up this soft plastic body and inserting the dumbbell joint, remembering that the arrow points inward to the body and faces the right side of Timber. A quick check on that dumbbell joint, you can see that the range is now much lower compared to the unmodified version. And now heating up that collar piece and putting Timber back together, let's compare the range of articulation. Dremeling away plastic on that first ball joint at the top of his neck gives him more range looking right as well as left. He also gets a slight improvement in range looking upwards. And of course now there's a huge improvement looking downwards. So this definitely helps him look more natural sniffing out an enemy's trail, and the improved range also helps him look more natural in a sitting position as well. I hope you found this video useful. Please like and share, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews and modifications. Do also check out my newly created TikTok account in the description below for some short video content. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.